Hey, what up, YouTube? Back at it again with another ASMR banger. Today, I figured we'd be a little productive, and I'd read to you guys from this cool book. I haven't read this book yet, but it's called "I Could Do Anything If I Only Knew What It Was: How to Discover What You Really Want and How to Get It." That's kind of neat, for all you guys who want to dream big with your lives and do something with yourself. This one's for you guys. The author's Barbara Sher with Barbara Smith. So two authors in this book. Pretty cool. Chapter 1. I'm not going to read the interface or the beginning of the book. I'm just going to start off on chapter 1. I'm a whisperer, so without further ado, here goes nothing. What are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing with your life? Now, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because if you can't figure out what you want to be doing, you probably know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be a housewife and mother, living next door to my parents. Everyone I asked seemed to have an answer ready for this question. I was supposed to be working alongside my father at the printing plant. I was supposed to marry old money and raise 5 whiz-bang children in a mansion by the sea. My father wanted me to be a partner in a Wall Street law firm or president of a bank or big corporation, something big. I was not supposed to pass up my brothers. I was supposed to do something special, but I could never figure out what that was. Inside each of us resists a silent message about what's expected of us. We may never say it out loud, we may rebel against it, refuse to do it, but somehow we always know what it is, and it has a powerful effect on how we run our lives. What about you? What are you supposed to be doing? You could be one of the lucky ones like Picasso who knew he was born to paint. Your silent, supposed to message could be a hot tip coming directly from your soul, or it could be a bum steer. And if it's a bum steer, you'll find yourself far from knowing what you really want to do. It could be truly painful to watch the Picassos of this world happily and industriously going about their lives. You wonder, how did you get so unlucky? We're all raised in families, communities, and even entire cultures that barrage us with messages about what they want from us. Sometimes these messages are blatant as billboards: get married, make money, buy your own home. Other times the messages are stealthy, they sneak in, then they stay in. They never come out where we can get a good look at them and dismiss them or embrace them openly. We usually forget when and how we first received these messages about what we're supposed to do with our lives, just as we forget when and how we first learned to eat with a fork or sleep without wetting the bed. But whenever and however our particular supposed to messages reaches us, they are in us and we respond to them, usually without thinking. Some of us obey our instructions, some of us rebel, but all of us respond. Take a moment to think about your life and your goals. Are you living up to expectations? I was supposed to be living next door to my parents and be a jet-setting international journalist spy, living days and nights of dazzling travel and dangerous intrigue. I've always had a hard time fulfilling this life plan. First, it's impossible, and second, I don't want it. I'm more adventurous than a homebody, and I'm considerably less adventurous than a spy. But I like you. But I, like you, was born into a world that bombarded me with ideas of what's right and wrong, and I wanted to do right. So even though the instructions I got were impossible to fulfill, I spent years juggling those messages in my head, trying to figure out a way I might be able to fulfill them. The ideas we receive may contradict each other and be wrong for us, but they are part of our first world. They get in deep. They affect us. It doesn't even matter if our parents were trying at all with their hearts not to influence us. Children are inevitably influenced. Children are fast learners and they are magical learners. As children, we can hear messages even when they're not spoken, and each message we get, blatant or invisible, stays inside us, where it can sit unexamined throughout our adult lives, undetermining our happiness. For example, if you seem to know what you want, thrive at your work, and are fascinated by it, You can have a nagging feeling that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Jack M., who at 29 was a journalist reporting from the battle lines in South Africa during the worst heat of the apartheid conflicts and loving every minute of it, told me I was supposed to have been a doctor. Journalism was never good enough somehow. Benita B., 36, a single woman making a very good salary on Wall Street, said, I'm supposed to marry a successful person, not be one. And Susan C., 47, the author of a respected library novel, said, I think I was supposed to be a great beauty, not an intellectual. I'm frumpy. You're looking at a failure. It's easy to see how hurtful Jack's, Benita's, and Susan's supposed to messages are. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to see how the same kind of expectations are hurting you. Here's a way to start examining your own situation. Try one simple question. Who says? Who says you're not supposed to do what you're doing? For that matter, who says you're supposed to be doing it? Who says? I'm inviting you to get specific. If you want to free yourself from the restraints of what you're supposed to be doing so you can find out what you really want, you're going to have to be precise about how messages come to you and who sent them. Our communities and schoolmates, perhaps a teacher or a coach, each of these people fed us some ideas. But for most of us, our earliest and most relentless message sender was our family. If you're like most people, your family desires for your life play so steadily in the back of your mind, even today, that you've created a non-stop inner monologue to address them. You think there, that'll show them, or there, they'll love this, or boy, they must feel bad about what I'm doing. I better call and say hi. What your family wanted gave meaning, good or bad, to everything you did, even if you thought you really didn't care. Okay, what about your family? How did you get your messages from them? Did they tell you in plain terms, what was expected of you? You're going to be a physician. Everyone in this family becomes a physician. I've got to become an accountant and come into the family business. We've broken our backs to build this business and get you into college. Now you owe us. Or were they more subtle? Did they just let you know in no uncertain terms what you were not supposed to be doing? John L. learned to lead the life of a politician, but his father, who'd always complained of government interventions in his businesses, despised politicians. Congressman John's father said, they'll sell you down the river for a song. Carl G. wanted to be an actress. On her 14th birthday, she announced her dream at dinner, and her entire family said, you'll never make it in acting. No one does. Forget it. Or maybe your family didn't say anything directly. They made their desires very clear. Instead, by talking about other people. Isn't it a shame Bill's wife makes so much more money than he does? If you're a boy, that means you better make plenty of money. If you're a girl, that means you'd better not. That Smith kid showed a lot of promise, but he wound up very small at the time. Now that Jones kid is looking great, buying and selling buildings and driving around in Mercedes. That's 27. It's pretty clear what kind of kid you're supposed to be. Or maybe your family didn't say anything at all. Maybe the messages you got from your family were unspoken, silent ones. You just got the idea. Many families say, do whatever you want as long as you're happy. But if you're from the one family in 1,000 who really means do what you want, I'm envious. Unlike the rest of us, you don't have to suffer from inner conflicts while you're going about the business of finding and enjoying your life's work. If you're not sure if you're from that one family in 1,000, just try telling your folks you become a happy striptease artist or you're happily leaving medical school, and you'll find out soon enough. Okay, now that you've thought about how to get the wind of your family's wishes, take another kind of close look at the family of yours. What did they want from you? Exercise 1. What did they want from me? Take a blank sheet of paper and jot down the names of everyone in your family and extended family. That is, write down anyone who was important to you when you were growing up: teachers, coaches, neighbors, cousins, older friends. Under each person's name, write down what they wanted you to do with your life. If you got your own family now, you can make this exercise even more spicy by including your present family too. Go ahead, make it a big list. Everyone you lived with as a kid, everyone you live with now. What did/do they want from you? Don't think too much. Jot down your first feeling. You might not be absolutely sure you're right about what each person would say, but you know what you're thinking is right, and that's what counts with inner messages. Your misinterpretations have influenced you as much as your insights. Think about it. What did each of these people want you to do? Okay, now take a look at your answer. Chances are your paper looks something like this. One stranger. Wait, did I skip a page? Yeah. Mom, be careful and respectable. A lawyer. My family wanted me to. Dad, be bold and competitive. An investment banker. Benny, be a big hero. Karen, be invisible, not get so much attention. Grandma, become constant companion. You may have started making a short list and suddenly realized all sorts of things like George J did. Here's George's list. Father had no use for me at all, but he loved opera, so I got the idea I should do something with opera. I married an opera singer, and he finally accepted me. My wife and I were badly matched and so unhappy. She wanted to leave, but I was terrified of letting her go. I never really put that together before. Mom, she was always trying to make peace in the house. Father was silent and angry, and Mom wanted everything to look peaceful and okay. I must have gotten the idea I was supposed to make everything look peaceful and okay too, because I got this proper corporate job even though I hate it. Well, life is peaceful, alright, and dead as dirt. Take another good look at your list, and you'll notice something else very interesting. If you're like most of us, you'll see there's a complicated twist in your instructions. You got more than one message, and some of the messages you got may be the exact opposite of each other. Remember how I was supposed to stay at home and be a jet-setting spy? Chances are that no person in your family wanted exactly that same thing for you that others wanted. And chances are that at least one person wanted something with so many built-in conflicts in it that you could never understand it. Lois M's mother said she wanted Lois to be wildly popular, even famous. But when Lois was a teenager, her mother begged Lois not to draw too much attention to herself. How does a person get famous without getting attention? Billy R. Also conflicting messages. I had to get married and create my own family until unit, and I had to stay with my parents forever. Don't you wonder where Bill was supposed to have his new family? In his parents' living room? These messages put us into an impossible bind. We're supposed to jump right into things that we've been told not to do, or that we can't do, or that we're incapable of. Meanwhile, our minds are never where we're supposed to be, on developing our own unique gifts. When we're children, we have a couple of very big jobs to do. We have to find out what people want from us, and we have to find out what we want. When we first